Well, good morning, Bakersfield, surrounding communities, everybody watching online on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk, 101.1 FM, 12:30 a.m. I'm Chris Burdick. That is Sparky. Sparky, good morning, my friend.
Good
A
morning.
bright day for your Dolphins, but let them know what they're in for.
Oh, the NFL Tampering League starts at 9 a.m. So we're going to get a lot of updates in the next 2 hours. We'll talk headlines. We'll talk everything from over the weekend. Plus, we'll have some comedians joining us at 8 o'clock, followed by some basketball talk before selection weekend.
Absolutely.
With our boys Snacks at 8:30. You can call or text in anytime at 661-842-2000.
March Madness right around the corner, as Sparky just said. Selection Sunday, this upcoming Sunday. We'll talk to our guy Bolt Brady as well on Thursday as he returns to his usual time. We'll talk all things March Madness. And I can't wait to get into the brain of our official Snacks because I know he watches a ton of college ball. And I need to know who are the biggest names that we need to be looking for here in this March Madness tournament. It seems like it's going to be a pretty exciting tournament. Michigan is on top of their game. They beat Michigan State over the weekend. UCLA is on fire. Well, USC is on fire, but for a completely different reason. And there's a ton we could talk about in that area, but we have to start in the NFL because, like Sparky just said, today's the first day your team can tamper with other players without getting in trouble. Although we've seen it the last 2 years, there's usually a team that doesn't really care about that time frame and will most likely be tampering with a player long before this actual thing started.
A lot of teams trying to clear up that cap space. We've seen two trades in the last 15 minutes.
Last 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, what we got?
We've got the Dolphins trading Minka, which I kind of saw on the wall because another reason why Pittsburgh wanted to get out of him is because his contract's running out. So Miami traded him over to the stinky, smelly Jets for a 7th rounder, and he immediately signed a 3-year deal for $30 million. Yippee-ki-yay. And then the Packers traded Gary over to Dallas for a late 2027 pick. And the big news is Tua is gone.
Yes.
It is finally officially over.
That I saw this morning. That was the bright, shining, possibilities that I saw for your Dolphins, is that we will finally see somebody else at the quarterback position for the Miami Dolphins and a $99 million cap hit.
And I was hoping that they were going to take it this year. Just take it all.
Yeah.
Just take it. Take the hit. And get ready for 2027, but no, they didn't. They're going to take the majority of it this year, which I believe is $67.4 million this year.
That's more than I was expecting you guys to eat. I mean, we were talking about a couple weeks ago the possibility of like a 50-40 split or even a 45-45 or whatever the heck it was going to end up being. Would actually be like 48 or 49 a year.
Yeah, now it's 67.4 this year, 34.8 next year, which hopefully the salary cap will just go up 34.8 and we'll just be happy.
And we've heard from John Eric Sullivan, as they've said, the entire roster is getting looked at. No matter who you are or what star power you have on the roster, you could be moved. That could mean Jalen Waddle as well on the way out. But
Waddle is not going anywhere.
I know.
I know the number one thing is that I did hear the interview he did with Finn's Talk over the weekend. Yes, I'm that big of a Dolphin fan that I will listen to a whole hour interview with the new GM. Just kind of wanted to see the vibe, what he's bringing in. And he's kind of just, hey, I came here. This team is a losing team. I'm cleaning up these old salary caps. I'm cleaning up older players, which we started with Chubb, with other players getting released, which I understand. You got to come in, put your name tag on this team. And with everyone talking about the 2027 draft being more quarterback, I don't personally think Miami goes after Malik Willis because he is one of the top 4 or 5 names in the quarterback position.
Maybe a Kirko.
I just seriously think we'll draft a late, maybe mid-draft quarterback, and if they bring in a veteran, it'll be somebody like, I'd hate to say, but somebody like a Teddy Bridgewater or a Geno type thing that'll be a Band-Aid for the year. But personally, I think the number one thing is that they want to extend A-Chain and they want to extend Jordan Brooks, who led the league in tackles last year, and just kind of lock in. These guys are 25, 26 years young, And I think that's the type of position when you take a job and you have to clean up space so you can do work. So I'm happy. I look forward to seeing where Tua lands. I've heard a lot of rumors that the McDaniel camp wants to kind of continue to work with Tua, and if that's him being the backup in with the Chargers with Herbert, we'll see. But I did see we also cut fullback Alec Ingold, which is a McDaniel guy, and he already signed with the Chargers. So big surprise. But no, I'm happy. We have to go to the next chapter. So this is the hard part. The hardest part is going to be watching the Dolphins this season.
Well, and again, is there much of a expectation from the team coming into this season? So that's why I thought you guys were going to eat the full 99 in one year, because there was no expectation coming into this season. You could eat it all in 1 year and you get all of it back the next, and then you could use all of that money on pieces that you need to actually build around a rookie quarterback and make this a successful franchise. But we'll see what happens. I mean, a good amount of it will be eaten up this year, and maybe that's on purpose. Maybe they don't have the cap salary to really eat up the whole brunt of it.
$1 million right now.
You do. You know, it's funny. The Raiders have what, 130?
Yeah.
Like after the Max Crosby trade and the dropping of Geno Smith, and
what do you think about moves. The Raiders doing the same thing? They're bringing in a new camp.
Right. No, and that was the idea. I mean, we all kind of been talking about that when it came to the Raiders for the last couple of weeks. As much as I hate seeing someone like Max Crosby go, you guys have heard us talk about it last week, and there's a reel right now online that's talking about it. There's not many players that really fit their team's mentality or just their image very well, like Max Crosby did to the Raiders or like Mike Evans does to the Buccaneers. It just doesn't. It's going to be weird seeing him in a Ravens jersey. We were just talking about another guy who's in a Ravens jersey that we're not used to seeing just yet. My thing when it comes to this trade is, one, obviously it frees up a ton of room for the Raiders to make moves in which they desperately need to. So that's going to help if you have the right people in the front office making the right decisions. But two, what this means for Baltimore, because we talked about them last year as the most talented team, at least on paper. When you look at their roster,
how can they not win?
Exactly. And if you don't win, because that's the big thing I keep seeing around the internet right now. If you don't win within the first 2 years of having Max Crosby, after giving up your next 2 first-round picks for him, this is a absolute failure.
Yeah.
Absolute failure. And people are going to start throwing this at Lamar Jackson. Can you win the game? Are you as good of a quarterback as people think you are? Because again, granted, this is a new coach for him this year. It's going to be a little bit of a learning curve for Lamar.
That was going to be my question to you. Do you think they get a year grace to kind of adapt this? Or do you think immediately ESPN, the power rankings, the Ravens are at the top?
Yep.
And number two is my secondary question back to the Raiders is, we talked about this a month ago, and you put out your emotion on them picking a quarterback at 1 without, having a full team and so many holes to fill. But now with Max gone, now a ton of salary cap, they could buy a team.
They could.
Do you think it's still Mendoza, and do you think that's still the best pick?
Yeah, well, now, yes, because you are now sitting with multiple first-round draft picks. The Baltimore pick, I believe, was 13, 14, somewhere in that 14, area.
Yeah.
So it's halfway through the first round. You'll still get a pretty solid offensive lineman, if not maybe a defensive piece. So I think, right now you're sitting pretty at number 1 overall. You'll probably take Fernando Mendoza and build around him. But again, I echo what I said back then. Every Raider fan is expecting this to be a Bears situation where they could just go to free agency and pick every lineman they have off the cuff, and that they're all going to want to come play in Vegas, and that they're going to become this great offensive line, and it's going to be a complete turnaround in a year. No, the offensive linemen that you need are not available. They aren't. There's not a lot of people in free agency right now that you could just sit there and say, oh yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah, I saw a couple all-pro guards and centers that got cut last week, but I believe 100% what you're saying.
Yeah,
they have so many holes, and we don't know what kind of coaching we're going to get out of their new head coach or their staff, and it's a rookie quarterback.
Yeah,
How often do you get a rookie quarterback to come in and sling it? But you have to be able to protect him.
Exactly. And if you can't, then this is all going to be a wash, and you're just going to be in the first or second overall pick next year
with Miami.
Exactly. And it's just going to be a rerun of what we saw this year. But again, I think right now they're in a better spot. I hate seeing Max go, but the biggest glaring hole that now they need to fill is a leader. It's not even a position player. You heard Derek talk about it last week when we replayed what he said on his podcast. We echoed the same sentiment. You just kicked out the heart and soul of your team.
That's the same thing I heard from Charles Woodson over the weekend, too. He was like, dude, I understand the trade on the business side, but this guy was not only your best defensive player, but he was the backbone of this team.
He was the only reason your players got rallied every single week to come out and play. Without a guy like Max Crosby, last year would have looked worse. And I know a lot of Raider fans are listening to us right now saying, how possibly could we have looked worse? You could have. Trust me, you could have.
He's telling the truth.
So when you lose a guy like Max Crosby like that, you now have a massive hole in the middle of your chest.
Multiple.
And now you got to figure out who's the man that's going to step up into that spot and be that guy. Is it going to be Fernando Mendoza? More than likely not. As much as I like the guy, nobody is just going to allow a rookie from Indiana to walk in and be a Max Crosby level leader.
Yeah.
We want him to be, but that doesn't just happen. Okay, so this is going to be a massive, massive learning curve for the Raiders next year, just solely in that area alone. Plus, you're going to have to figure out how to play defense without Max Crosby, which if you're a Raider fan, you know that's going to be tough because Max was in on every single play, whether it was a pass play, a run play, did not matter. Max Crosby was there. But transitioning to the first question which you asked, is there a grace period for the Baltimore Ravens due to Jesse Minter being a first-year head coach and all of this type of stuff? Absolutely not. No, you are that talented of a roster now. Actually, I can't even say now. You were last year.
Yeah.
You were that
There's a reason Harbaugh is not your head coach anymore.
Exactly. So no, I don't think they get a grace period. Maybe Jesse Minter does being a new head coach, but the team itself, absolutely not. You guys have played together for a couple years now. We shouldn't have this conversation. You should have been in the Super Bowl last year. But let's be honest. Injuries get in the way. We understand that. But this year, no excuses. None. If you don't make it, if we don't see you at the top of the NFC North, which was a dumpster fire last year.
Yeah, you couldn't have gotten any luckier.
Yes, and you still didn't win it.
Yeah.
So if you don't at least win the division, I know so many sports people, sports takers, whatever, talking heads, whatever you want to call them, they're all going to blow up on you because you're wasting talent and you are wasting the potential and the ceilings of most of these players. And I'm not even talking about Lamar. I'm talking about Raekwon Smith. I'm talking about Kyle Hamilton. I'm now talking about Max Crosby.
Derrick Henry is what
this
I'm talking
is
about,
getting ridiculous. How many pieces do the Baltimore Ravens need to win a season at all?
Yeah, and now the Bengals really need to build that offensive line.
You know, that's all I've seen all over the internet. Is
I'm
now
like,
Joe Burrow gets to deal with Max Crosby, TJ Watt, and Myles Garrett 2 times a year.
One more year, and I'm out of here.
You know, in the best possible news that the Burrow camp could get right now, and I should have came in because I have the audio of Jamar Chase hearing about this Max Crosby trade.
Oh, yes, I heard.
When he was playing Call of Duty, I wish I could play it for you, but it's so strung out with profanities that there's no point. All you would be hearing was bleep bleep this mo bleep 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 bleep.
How the hell he going to get in our division?
And I as if your GM can do anything to stop that, Jamar.
That's not how it works, brother.
But yes, that is a major question mark for the rest of the division as well. How are they going to now work against Max Crosby 2 times a year? And the best news that the Joe Burrow camp could hear at some point between today and Wednesday is that Myles Garrett has been traded from the Cleveland Browns.
Right.
Which, let's be honest, probably is not going to happen. We've heard about that for the last 2-3 years, the possibility of them moving on from Myles. It's never going to happen.
And it's funny. I also read that the the Patriots were trying to get in on that Max Crosby, and Brady
Tom
was like, nope.
Yeah, Tom said there was no way in hell he sends Max Crosby to Mike Vrabel.
Which I could understand.
Yeah, no way in hell. Because honestly, if they did make that trade, can you imagine the grief Tom would be getting right now? Everybody would pretty much be saying, oh, so the Raiders are a feeder league for the Patriots.
Exactly.
That Tom Brady was a sleeper agent that just went into the Raiders and said, here, take every major piece we got so we can just go back to the ways we were out there in New England. No, I don't see it happening. But I love what I heard from the camp in general when it came to this trade. I guess from what Max was saying was that the GM, Spytek, and everybody was very nice and very pleasant throughout this entire situation. They wanted to do right by him. That's why he got sent to Baltimore instead of places like Chicago, because Chicago was, inquiring about it. But at the end of the day, this is now one of those situations where Raider fans, I'm sorry. I know you're not happy today. I don't blame you whatsoever. But half of you were turning against this guy as, days went on.
You think personally, I mean, obviously they hit the nerve when they didn't let him finish the season.
Yes.
Do you think he stays if they would have let him play out?
I think he wanted to stay in general. Just listening to
his podcast or whatever
13-minute podcast. Yeah.
He was talking about he wants to come back and finish his career there.
I don't think he ever wanted to leave. I think the frustrations just got to a point where they boiled over, and obviously he made himself vocal about it.
And I'm surrounded by Raider fans, so I heard both sides of it.
Yes.
A lot of them were like, good. We needed the money. We needed this and that and this. And second was like, why?
Yes.
Why in the same conference?
And I've heard the same thing. I mean, I told you guys yesterday, you can go to our TikTok right now. There's a comment under the video in which we were talking about this exact situation, the trading of Max Crosby. One of the Raider fans was very vocal to come out and dispute us and said, nobody's actually turning against him, brother. Like, that's not what it is. And then somebody literally right underneath that in all caps, no one's bigger than the Shield. I think one guy on this team was bigger than the Shield. Let's be honest. And you just traded him away. When you have former Raiders like Charles Woodson, Derek Carr, all these guys stepping up and saying, don't do this. Don't do this. This guy is a Raider, man. He's a Raider for life. He is the Raiders.
I thought the same thing when they traded Mac.
Yes.
I was like, what are you doing, dude?
Speaking of Khalil Mack, before we go to a break, he also made a decision that he will be returning to the LA Chargers. You're, good for you, Tyson. $18 million on 1 year. Does that move the needle for the Chargers, though? I mean, again, I know he was very instrumental in stopping the run this year. Without him, they were one of the worst run-stopping defenses in the league. He comes in and they're a top 5. But we talked about it a couple weeks ago. All I hear from the Khalil Mack camp is that he wants to win a ring. Are the Chargers actually in that spot to win a ring? Or are we going to be talking about halfway through the season before the trade deadline of Khalil Mack potentially being moved because he's tired of a losing situation and wants to win a ring? So does this move the needle for you at all for the Chargers?
I'm on the fence with the Chargers personally. I think the Chargers have all the talent in the world.
Yeah.
And this is a short window with no one knows when Mahomes is going to be back. We know they're probably going to get a stud running back in the draft, and unless something crazy happens.
Please don't.
But every mock draft I've read, it's love to the Chiefs, and any team before them doesn't really need a running back, or they need a glaring hole, a bigger hole. But personally, I like the McDaniel. I think McDaniel is going to bring something to that offense. It's going to help. And really, the only team really standing in front of them right now is Denver. And we don't know what kind of Bo Nixes we're going to get and when he's going to come back. So I think this is a great opportunity where the Chargers sit right now. But they've got to clean up some things. And once again, another quarterback that has been battling injuries his whole career. So I don't know if the kid can play a whole season.
Quarterback, shoot, the offensive line.
Exactly.
The offensive line can barely stay healthy.
On top of that.
That's a very good point.
And the dominoes fall when the offensive line goes down. We've all seen it.
And I know they brought back Tart as well, which was a huge, huge return because he's massive to the interior part of that defense. But when I saw the Khalil Mack situation, I knew he obviously wants to be a loyal guy and has his entire career. But if you want to win a chip, man, I don't think the Chargers are the team to get you there. I'm sorry. We've talked about this the last couple seasons. The Chargers, for some reason, much like the Baltimore Ravens, on paper, they look like they should be a lot better than they are. But every single year, we are shown that they aren't that good, or there's something that's really holding them back, whether it be injuries or just a chemistry situation. Really doesn't matter. I think the defense is better with Khalil Mack, obviously, but I just don't feel like this move moves the needle at all, or at least gets them closer to where Khalil Mack wants to be, which is winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he went to Baltimore.
Yeah, this is true too. Or he could have gone back to Chicago.
I was hoping he was going to go back to the Raiders and keep Crosby, but
oh my
not
God,
going to
could
happen.
you imagine? Oh, that would have been an interesting year to have Khalil Mack and Max Crosby. And honestly, Raider fans, you could have had that to begin with, but yeah, we all know how that ended. Let's take a break. We'll get into some of the other stuff in the NFL on the other side. Plus, Logan Paul finds himself in some hot water on the internet after a WWE spokesperson, I guess, called him during one of his podcasts and shut down this whole I can fight or box NFL players or former NFL players. Yeah, they shut that stuff down real quick. So we'll let you know what happened to that on the other side as well. This is the early bird special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. Welcome back. Early bird special right here on KGEO Sports Talk, 101.1 FM, 12:30 a.m. So I went to ESPN just to check and make sure that I didn't miss anything else because I didn't see the first couple trades that happened today. Gary and Minka Fitzpatrick on the way out of their respective teams. But this story came across, and I had to read it because this was interesting. Did you see this entire brawl at a soccer match yesterday?
No.
So apparently, and I'm going to butcher the names, I apologize, but there was a football match yesterday between Cruzeiro and Atletico MG, if I'm saying those correctly. I might be butchering it. That ended in a 1-0 win for Cruzeiro. But the issue here was in the last 30 seconds of the game, the opposing team that was losing takes a shot on goal. The goalie makes a great play to block it. And then on the ricochet rebound, the goalie actually gets tackled by one of the midfielders of the opposing team. Whether it was on purpose or not, God only knows. It's soccer. But that obviously led to a massive brawl in which the goalie went after the midfielder and even pinned him down on the ground with his knee. This led to 23 different red cards being issued. And obviously, if you don't know soccer, red cards mean you don't get to play the next game. So 12 of the Cruzario member players and 11 of the Atletico, I believe. Again, I'm butchering the names. I apologize.
Spencer.
Absolutely insane. Insane.
Is there video?
There is. Apparently, there is a video, at least a little bit of it, of one of the players trying to punch another player. But the best part about this, Sparky, and you don't know this till you read the end of this story, and it's a great story in ESPN by Adriana Garcia. Both of these teams were winless coming into this. You want to talk about frustrations mounting? My God, 23 different red cards. I'm going to look into this more. Hopefully get some audio for you guys for our return of Wild Thing Wednesday next week, because I don't know if we're going to be here this week. Our own Sparky will be having some things going on. I'm going to try to get KG in here, but he is at Disneyland this week. So we will see if we can get our guy 24KG in studio this week for wrestling in general. I don't even know if we're going to have him tomorrow. It may just be us again.
I think he's there for 4 or 5 days.
I think so too. And he had a massive concert he was part of over the weekend as well. If you don't follow him, you should follow him. The Gold Wolf, I believe, is the name of his Instagram handle. But you should follow him. He's a pretty good DJ. And honestly, he gets some backstage stuff, or he shows you some backstage stuff that you really wouldn't see unless you were following him. So highly recommend you go follow our guy, 24KG. Let's shift back to the NFL, though. One of the biggest stories that I saw over the weekend, and I again, one of those situations where I almost ran right in here just to cut the audio because it really was comedy gold. But we talked to you guys about this last week. Logan Paul, ever since this whole wrestling is cute comment by Tom Brady on his podcast, has really started to stir the pot, as it were, really just bringing some heat, especially with athletes, saying that he can pretty much box and beat up any NFL player, no matter who it was. This led to Le'Veon Bell, former Steelers running back, now boxer, reaching out on Twitter, pretty much saying, I'll fight you. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Come on, let's do it. Logan quickly backed off, said, well, if I went up against you, you're an actual fighter. I'd have to train, which means to step away from wrestling, and I'm not going to do that, blah, 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 blah. Then he goes on the internet over the weekend and pretty much says that all the other NFL players are scared because they don't want to put $1 million tender down just like he would. And essentially, like, he's calling them out. He's pretty much saying that they're all babies and none of them will fight him. Well, let's cut to the podcast that he did over the weekend. I don't know if it was impulsive or if he was on somebody else's stream. It really looked like a stream more than a pod to me, where he got a phone call from a WWE executive by the name of Chris. We don't know anything else besides that. We just know the guy's name is Chris. And I think I've heard of this guy before as well. Logan seems to talk to a Chris a lot from the WWE. But that person on speaker pretty much told them, yeah, we're going to have to shut this down. There's no way. We can't afford you getting injured right before WrestleMania, blah, blah, blah. Pretty much giving Logan the out that he has been needing to get away from all of this turmoil, because he really did start a epidemic when he said that he, a WWE superstar, could beat up any NFL player, no matter who it was, in a boxing ring.
NFL ran with it, man. All sorts of players. I was looking at Deion Dawkins. He's I'll fight you. And I know everyone knows he's a big WWE guy. So I'd been like, I would watch that.
Honestly, George Kittle. Let's throw Kittle in the ring with you. Let's see what happens there. Like, I've seen so many people, like you said, too. Micah Parsons came out and said something. I mean, there was a Charger defensive lineman was the big one for me, because he's like 200-300 pounds. And it's like, God, could you imagine if he got a hold of it would not be pretty. But yeah, so the WWE apparently has stepped in and shut this whole thing down. I heard Emmanuel Acho yesterday, too, pretty much call him out, saying this is the most embarrassing thing from a would-be athlete. First off, Emmanuel,
calm down.
Calm down. He is an athlete. I don't care what you guys think of wrestlers. They are athletes at the end of the day. So let's not throw that out there saying that this is the most, despicable move by a would-be athlete or wannabe athlete, like you called him. I'm like, Emmanuel, I know you'd make a lot of money for having some polarizing takes, my brother, but let's just pump the brakes.
A lot of people saying it was a planted call, it was a fake call, blah, 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 blah.
It kind of felt like it. I'm not going to lie to you. There's a little piece of me that thought the same thing. Now, the WWE will step in and actually shut something like this down, because they don't want their athletes getting hurt outside of the ring. They don't want their athletes getting hurt in the ring.
Yeah, they got enough of that.
Because if you're not available, you're not making money for them. If you're not making money for them, then what the hell are you there for?
One more guy from the Vision.
Exactly. That's the other thing, too. It's like, we've already lost half of your freaking stable, man. Can you not do this?
And now that even more speculation is now that the 3-team flag football Saudi Arabia League, they've officially moved it to BMO Stadium down in LA. And he is a part of, who is a participant. He's supposed to be playing. I know that I believe the 14th or the 18th, they're doing their draft of the 3 teams. And the rumor I read this morning is now Le'Veon is trying to get in because he knows Logan's in and playing.
Oh, my God.
So they're just going to stir this up, and we're going to hear more and more about this.
He's going to get destroyed.
Yes.
Someone's going to run him over, dude. Like, it's going to be one of those moments where he's sitting there trying to grab someone's flag and someone just blindsides him for fun. He has put a massive, massive target on his back, and it wasn't even him that started it. It was Tom. Like, Tom Brady is the one who started all of this. I don't know. And again, all he's doing is doing his job as a wrestler and stirring the pot, getting people excited for WrestleMania and wanting him at the forefront of the entire thing. So I don't see this as really a problem for Logan Paul, as it were. But I do kind of agree with the internet. It seemed like a planted call. This guy doesn't just call randomly while you're in the middle of a stream or a podcast. It just happened to drop this. And then he dropped it so quickly, too. I'm a good independent contractor. If my company says I can't, I can't. I don't know. I can't say anything. I don't know. That's just how the WWE works. Yeah, you put on a pretty good show there, Logan.
Yeah.
You really did.
Acting.
Absolutely. And that, at the end of the day, is what he is. He's an actor. But, again, I just... Everybody coming out and saying it was a fake call or, all that type of stuff. I don't know necessarily if it was fake, whether he told them to call at that time and shut it down, because he probably got the call well before this. But you can't exactly just go to Twitter and say, yeah,
they won't let me.
Bruce Pritchard just called me and said I can't do this. He's not. No one's going to believe you. No one's going to believe you. Every athlete will be running saying you're a liar. You're just stirring the pot. You're full of crap. So they had to do it on camera. Otherwise, no one would have believed him.
Yeah, and they still don't.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, at least now or at least can blame somebody else outside of Logan, or Logan can, for that matter. So the wannabe boxing match that everybody was hoping for is not going to be happening. Sorry. Although I did get some interesting news that Francis Ngannou will be joining the Ronda Rousey Gina
the fight
card. Don't know who he's fighting yet. But that's a pretty cool little addition to that card. A new big name, especially for the men's side, that hopefully will pull in some more viewers to this fight. I still say this one is going to be, welcomes more than the Mike Tyson Floyd Mayweather fight.
Any of the Mayweathers, really. But I know over the weekend, the UFC at the White House lawn fight card was released.
They announced it. Absolutely. And Dana shut down all rumors that John Jones was going to be a part of it. I get his reasoning. Don't get me wrong. I mean, especially if he does have arthritis in the hips, because that is what Dana said, that John might even need a double hip replacement. It's so bad. But come on, man. It's John Jones. How are we doing this without John Jones? It's the best American fighter of all time. I don't care if he has to do a tune-up fight against somebody. We have to have him on the card.
Did you see the card?
I did.
Anything that really...
Gaethje at the end, I mean, that's going to be fun regardless. I love watching that guy fight. It is one of the most entertaining things in the UFC, but it's not going to break the bank. It's not going to make the money you need it to, and you're already losing money on this.
Yep.
So I think the UFC pretty much just grabbed the biggest names they possibly could that were going to fill this card. I know you didn't have the money to pull in a guy like Conor McGregor.
That's what I really wanted, man.
I mean, again,
and I knew it was a long reach.
It's the purse. It's the purse of it all, man. If you're not going to put down the money to lure him in, he's not coming out of retirement. And the problem right now is that he knows the difference between a purse in boxing and a purse in the UFC, and he wants something in between. So the UFC is going to have to dip into their pocketbooks to even get Conor anywhere close to an octagon again. And I just don't think you're going to get that. I really don't. I think the UFC believes they have the talent right now on their roster to really pull in the same fight or the same fans, if not new ones, every single year. I mean, we had a fantastic fight over the weekend as well. And I don't think a lot of people were even paying attention to it. So you're really not going to pull in a lot of new viewers, unless you have a name like Conor McGregor, but they really don't have the money for that right now.
I saw the O'Malley. I was like, okay, but overall, I'm like, okay, they're just filling now.
Yeah. And again, a lot of the big name American fighters wanted to be on this. Your O'Malley's had to be on this card because that's just who they are. But does it break the bank at all? Not for me, at least. Again, there's going to be millions upon millions of people who pay to watch this regardless. But is it going to really make all that money back that they desperately need? Nope, probably not, which means TKO is going to be hurting for a couple more weeks until we actually figure out how to fill all of this debt that they have accumulated over the years. Who knows? But WWE fans aren't going to be happy because that means higher ticket prices for you, and the PLEs aren't going to get any cheaper.
Yep.
So, sorry.
So Logan and Le'Veon, no fights.
Nope. And Dana White gave us at least who we're going to be seeing on the White House. We keep saying the White House lawn. I know it's not going to be in the White House lawn. It'll probably be the first thing in that stupid ballroom that they're building right now. But at this point, it might as well be on the lawn because this is just the weirdest location for a UFC fight on the planet outside of just putting it in the middle of the Pentagon. So,
well, speaking of America,
did
you watch any of the
of course
the World Baseball Classic?
Watching my boy Kyle Schwarber give us the win over Great Britain. Said, "Oh, really?" Clack! I love it. I love every second of it.
Started off with the Judge one.
Look, man, this is going to be some exciting baseball top to bottom. And you guys heard me last week talk about the Dominican Republic. They are really dangerous. We're going to have to see them in the semifinal. But there are two teams that have actually popped up that I did not expect to have great starts. Italy and Cuba. Holy hell. Absolute bat power. It's been fantastic to watch. And Italy has a cappuccino machine in their dugout. I don't know if that's the secret sauce, as it were, the MJ's juice, but it's working. And if they can make something happen and play spoiler, I think a lot of people will be really pleasantly surprised to see a different name making a run at the championship with all of this. But let's not get crazy. This is going to America. America is winning this whole dang shebang.
I know we got Mexico tonight.
Japan is already showing some weaknesses a little bit. It's obviously not in Shohei or any of the fantastic pitching, but the rest of the players are making some weird mistakes. And if we can capitalize on that, America's got this in the bag. But yeah, no, we ran the table this weekend. I know we beat Brazil. What was that? 15-5. 15-5. Yeah. And then yesterday, I believe, ended 3-1 or something of that nature against Great Britain. Sucks to see that Tarek Skubal has to head back to Detroit. He gave us a good game, though, at least, so you can give him that. And we were right. It was about 4 or 5 innings of baseball, which is pretty much all you really need from a guy like Tarek when you have a bullpen like the American team has. So hopefully this will continue. We have plenty of games coming on this week. We'll keep you updated on all of those. But yeah, I still stand by what I said. It's going to be America and Japan in the final. Hopefully the DR doesn't derail that. But I'm also hoping somebody like Cuba or Italy could help us out with that problem and just shoo Soto and his stupid team away so I don't have to see that damn shuffle anymore until he, starts the MLB season. I can't do it, man. That Soto shuffle is so dumb. So dumb. I don't get why people are, well, actually, I get it. Don't get me wrong, because it's a stare down and baseball doesn't get that very often. But if I'm a pitcher and I see a batter take a pitch and he steps in and stares me down like that, I'm throwing one right in between his shoulder blades or right here at the dome. Said, oh, you're going to do that? Okay, fine. Let's see what you do when I throw it at you. I don't get it. But I'm not a Soto fan, so maybe that's why. Let's take a break. We got plenty to talk about on the other side as well. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. We saw this for the Ted 2 season,
which was awesome.
I'm only halfway through it. It is so good. No, that was one of the biggest disappointing things of the weekend. I knew they're not going to be the third one.
No,
That's not fair.
no, but they have signed on to an animated.
Oh, they're making an animated season now
with Mark Wahlberg and.
Fine. I just need more Ted. I don't care if it's this show. I don't care if it's an animated thing that tells us what happens in between.
The kid is getting just too old.
Yeah. And the older he gets, the more and more we're just sitting there saying, "You really don't look like Mark."
Yeah. So without any spoilers, they just wrap it up with him saying he's going to the gym to get fit, worked out because he was getting a little chunky, and yeah, it was good.
There are so many. I love this show. If you don't know what we're talking about, the very popular movie series Ted has a series on Peacock. Season 2 came out over the weekend. It is fantastic. I love that every comedy, or really just every media, though, is dipping into Dungeons and Dragons at some point,
right?
Especially with the popularity of Stranger Things.
Saw that one?
And, oh yeah, no, I've seen that
episode.
That was a fantastic episode. That's where I ended. Because I had to start doing my notes, and I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to focus if I got Ted in front of me.
My son and I just watched all of it.
Yeah.
And just a heads up, I am out Wednesday because my son is getting his behind the wheel to get his license, and I will say he is a good driver. I don't think it's going to be an issue. And we talked to Ryan Holt. He will be joining us tomorrow, so we're all set. We'll still talk condors.
Yeah, you will not miss your weekly Condor talk. I can't wait to talk to Holty. I love our weekly talks about the Condors, and they turned it around over the weekend. So,
and now they're in 4th instead of 3rd.
I know. But again,
it's a busy month.
I still see some progression.
Oh, yeah.
We still got plenty of time. There's still plenty of hockey to be played. But yeah, no, that most of my weekend was watching Ted too. That was fantastic. I loved this season. I thought it was a great way to continue the story. And at the end of it all, it's just for a good laugh. I mean, if you like Family Guy humor, go check it out. It is worth it. Honestly, if you love the movies, you're going to love this show. It just takes it to a whole different level. Before we get our guys snacks in here, though, there are some things in basketball we got to talk about. Tatum is back, and it doesn't look bad. That's the thing. Well, it looks bad for everybody in the East. It doesn't look bad for the Boston Celtics like everybody was predicting. I with him back, I have to put them back at the top of the East for me for winning the entire shebang. They're probably going to make a run, and we're going to see a Thunder Celtics final, because this team, when they are at 100%, is the best team in the East. It really is. And this is coming from a Cleveland Cavalier fan.
Yeah, I watched the game. I mean, obviously he's gonna dust off some cobwebs
naturally,
and I think he finished with 15 or something like that. He looks good, I will say. And you add a piece, and he's got 3-4 weeks, 5 weeks to get ready. I think it's perfect timing.
Absolutely, and it's just enough timing for them to all really get used to playing with each other again, get the chemistry going. And I think one thing that we forget about Jason Tatum, as talented of an offensive player as he is, he really is one of the bigger defensive focal points of this team as well. He leads them when they need him to. Usually he's on the more talented big man. If you watched the game yesterday against Cleveland, vast majority of the game, he's going to be on Evan Mobley. Why? Because he's actually a really good defender, and Evan has yet to figure out a way to actually beat him off the ball. He is just one of those vocal pieces for this Boston Celtics team that it just makes me believe with him back, and even at 80-85%, like we said last week, they could make a run, because Brown is talented enough really to be the leader and lead scorer of this team. So you don't need Jason to come out and drop 30 for you every single night, but you having him on the court, being that vocal leader, and now with a center that's competent and can actually rebound a basketball, I mean, he's able to freely go out and play that wing position that he is so used to playing. The Boston Celtics are back, and it's going to be crazy to watch. The other side, though, we talked about the Thunder. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has a chance tonight to break, or at least tie, a record that I am actually shocked no one recently has been able to get close to. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has now played 125 games straight with 20-plus points. One shy of Wilt Chamberlain's 126, and a pretty good chance here to break that record and stretch it even further. Do you think SGA breaks this record? We'll get our obviously Snacks' thoughts at 8:30. And if so, where does this kind of put him in his legacy? I'm not going to sit here and say that he is a top 5 player in the NBA. Let's not get crazy in history. I mean, but with all of these historical things that are happening in his career, by the end of it, we could be talking about this guy as probably the best Canadian basketball player to ever come and play in the NBA. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's super young, or it's super. I mean, he's proven to be one of the best right now,
Mhm.
and I could see it, man. I think he's going to be, if he can continue to stay. Obviously, he's had some injuries this year, but I think if he can continue his style without, the NBA stepping in and trying to change some of these foul rules, I think he's going to be one of the greatest to ever play.
It honestly is starting to shape up that way. And that's why I'm saying because not a lot of people I knew this was even happening, that he was this close to breaking a record by Wilt Chamberlain. And just so people can realize who else is on this list, Wilt's on here twice. He was first and second for a long time. And then SGA obviously reached that peak. You got Oscar Robinson, Kevin Durant, Michael Jordan on here twice, Kareem on here twice, Elgin Baylor. That is a group of men that you cannot really just ignore. And as talented of a scorer as this kid is, I mean, we were just talking about LeBron's record of 10 plus for how long? I mean, this has to be just as impressive, if not more so. At the end of his career, we could be talking about SGA as one of the greatest non Americans, Canadian, whatever you want to call him, basketball players of all time. And the NBA fandom and the NBA as a whole still, for some reason, doesn't want to make him the face of the league.
I think they have to wait and get. I think they'll be forced to after he wins a couple
That's what I'm
more.
saying. If he wins again this year, you're going to be forced to. I don't know. This is just one of those situations where I'm excited to see if he can break this record. I'm sure he will. I believe they play the Nuggets tonight, but I will double check that, and we'll talk about that on the other side of the break. But first, we have our friends from Made You Laugh Monday. Trevor Chavez coming in here with one of his very, very, very funny guests. We will talk to them and let you know how you guys can go check out their open mic or get involved with an open mic if you want to. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. Welcome back. KGEO Sports Talk right here. 101.1 FM, 1230 AM. This is the Early Bird Special. I'm Chris Burdick. Behind the glass is Sparky. But we are here to talk to our friends at Major Laugh Mondays. Once again, Trevor Chavez is here.
Hey, good morning, guys. How you doing? Good morning.
All decked out in Tigers gear, I see.
Yeah, I have
ready for baseball season.
I have to get ready because the Spartans let me down yesterday, and the Lions made me sad this week. But we'll get into that, guys. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, is there still a chance you make the tournament though?
Oh, absolutely. I still think the Spartans are an Elite Eight team. I have to say that U of M is probably a Final Four team and could be a national runner-up, and it hurts my face to say that.
You would rather be a Spartan right now than a Trojan, I can tell you that for damn sure.
Absolutely.
Dropping the last 7 and getting embarrassed yesterday or the day before by UCLA. It's not a good look.
I have family who are USC fans, and they've not wanted to talk to me at all the last month.
No. Especially with our top scorer just leaving the team, and we won't get into it. Who's your guest today?
So my guest today is, I know there were some complaints. Hey, are there any actual women in the Bakersfield comedy scene? So I had to bring one. Guys, she's returning to Bakersfield from the Pacific Northwest. She's one of my favorite comics in the scene. This is Smashy P.
Hi,
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So we always want to get a background on you guys first. How'd you get started in comedy? What made you get on the stage?
Oh, wow. What made me get started in comedy? I think I was just really depressed and lonely, and I needed to figure out a way to connect.
Been bringing in. Oh, I was just depressed. I just decided to get on stage,
share our trauma, and think it's funny. And 2017, I made a promise to myself to do it, and I did the very last open mic in Portland that year.
Boom.
Yeah, very last one. Nice. It was like December 22nd or something.
Oh,
so
wow!
I made the goal.
Very cool. Okay, so obviously, was your first set a good one? Was it a bomb? Like, it's kind of a mixed bag.
I killed it. No, I was in a very safe space of a sweet room, a bunch of queerdos. So I had a really good time. People laughed. It was great.
Nice. Love that. What is your comedy for people who have not seen you? Like, how can you describe it for somebody?
Great question. Chaotic improv gremlin.
Really?
Yeah. Unhinged, sweet, silly, and kind of sassy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I think a lot of people can relate to that here in Bakersfield.
Cool. Yeah. From someone who's seen Smashy said, it's very much whatever vibe she's coming on to stage with and whatever vibe the audience has that day, which means she's always really excited to see. Like, what's gonna happen today?
It's funny you bring that up because when you sent us her Instagram handle, and obviously I was doing my prep yesterday, one of the videos you had was just you reacting to a group of girls that were just cheering you on. Did you know them at all, or was that just like one of those moments that you're just like, oh yeah, we have a group here that's actually kind of fun?
I didn't know them. I typically don't invite people that I know to my shows.
No,
it's more fun that way.
Okay. Yeah. Do you just not like performing in front of people you know?
Or? I share a lot, so
okay. You just don't want to make anybody angry with the stories you're telling. Then
I don't know if it's angry. I just like it's very vulnerable and real.
Gotcha.
And it's like I don't know if I need people that I see every day to know that side of me.
Gotcha.
So where's the name Smashy come from?
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on.
Yeah, what is the Smashy? Where does Smashy come from?
Oh, great question. So I lived in Bakersfield for a time. First name is Ashley. I used to get pretty hammered and call me Ashley Smashly, as one does. And then so I was like, how could I be even more basic? And so I just went from Ashley to Ashley Smashly to Smashy. So now it's Smashy.
Now Smashy Patron too. You had to put your favorite alcohol at the end of it, I'm assuming.
Got it.
Nice.
Still accepting shots though at the end of my set.
Oh, of course. We can find you downtown at some point, I'm assuming.
Let's go.
What was the next question I was going to ask you? So you are from the upper West Coast, or are we in the Bay Area? Where were you from originally?
Yep, from the Bay, born and raised in the Bay. Moved here at 15. Family's been here, so I spent summers here. So I feel like an honorary Bakersfield kid.
Okay, fantastic. So where would you run around while you were here then, when you were just a kid visiting from, for the summer?
Great question. My grandma was living on Hilltop, so we'd go to I wasn't allowed out past her fence because I only had boy cousins. So my cousins would go run the streets, play bikes, go to the canals and stuff. They're like, you can't leave the fence. The second I left the fence, I got a boyfriend. They brought me right back to the fence. They're like, we're not letting you out there again.
Of course not. And you can't have the summer flings though. Come on now.
So much fun. It was 2 weeks. He tried to kiss me. I didn't know what that meant. And I freaked out. And I was like, I don't want to leave the fence anymore. So I stayed inside the fence for some time.
Oh, good Lord. But that's awesome. I mean, obviously you've had a little bit of a taste of this place growing up. Has that kind of transitioned into your comedy as well?
I like to think so. Yeah. I feel like Bakersfield, there's more of edgy, like you feel like you're with your bros here, and so you can kind of say whatever you want, and I like that aspect of it. Pacific Northwest, you got to be a little bit more careful, which it makes you write different, but here you can just be unhinged, and I love just going for it.
Okay, so that because that answers my next question. Then there's vast differences between us and doing comedy in Portland, I take it.
Oh yeah.
So how would you say, or what's the biggest difference?
You know, Portland is very safe space. You know, you're gonna have more careful comedy. Here people just go for it, and if it's funny, I love it. If not, do better.
That's got to be why Trevor Wallace loved like his performances here. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and he was saying that he had just done shows here in Bakersfield, so it must have been shot like right after he did his shows here.
Yeah.
And he said they were two of the best shows of his entire career. And I kept trying to wrap my head around, like, really? Usually it's the opposite way around when we talk to major comics. They're just like, yeah, I'm probably never going to go back.
I've heard that from a lot of comedians that come down, and whether it was their first show or they're returning, that they can let loose and kind of test out a lot of dirtier things.
I think that's why Kevin Hart likes to come and perform here a lot.
You have to be prepared for it, because Bakersfield audiences are going to give you a little bit more on the positive and negative scale when you're performing comedy. So you have to be prepared for if they heckle you if your stuff's not hitting. But on the other side, you can get wild. I've had stuff hit here that hasn't hit anywhere else, and some of it I can't understand why.
That's it's funny you bring that up, because there have been many comedy shows that I've gone to, both your guys's and, you know, bigger comedians too, when they have bigger shows at like the arena. And like, I've seen some guys that I thought for sure were going to kill it. Like Daniel Tosh. When Daniel Tosh came here and was at the Fox Theater, I said, oh, he's going to crush it. Everybody loves this kind of humor here. And he got booed off stage. And I could not understand why. I was like, really? Like, that's so weird.
I guess the best sports analogy I can use is like Bakersfield's like a trap game. Like, you think it's going to be like, oh, I can smash Bakersfield. It's no problem. And then you get there and it's just brutal fans, brutal environment, and you got to bring your A game. But I feel like for those of us Bakersfield comics that come up here, like I tell LA comics this all the time, I love that Bakersfield is my dojo, because it's a tough crowd and it's a tough room. And because I lean left, or I'm very leftist, and this town leans right.
Yeah.
I have to make sure my jokes hit. And I know if I can make one of my lefty jokes hit in Bakersfield, it's going to hit anywhere.
You know, that's a very good point. And I saw you rub your hands when you brought up hecklers. Is that something you look forward to every time you have a show?
I love hecklers. Bring it. You know,
really?
I like having fun with people. So let's go.
How do you usually manage when someone's being a heckler at one of your shows?
I don't know. How do I manage it?
I mean, I think usually Smashy's move is occasionally to go after the girlfriend of the heckler.
Really?
That's which I do myself sometimes. Like I saw someone get like Smashy just own someone because they were looking at him, and she just looked at the girlfriend and went, "Ma'am, do you feel safe right now? Is it okay? Blink twice. Blink twice if you need me to call the police."
That is awesome. How often do you have to deal with that though? Because I feel like it has to be a mixed bag. There are people that just go to shows just to heckle. Like I know a lot of people that
it's that Patron. You mix in that Patron, sometimes your mouth gets a little
it's true.
louder. The last show I went to at the Well, there was a chick that was half in the bag before the show started, and luckily, I mean, these guys, when you have a full staff of comedians playing security or whatever, I mean, they wrapped it up real quick, but it was an easy target now, because now if this is not hitting, I'm just going to go straight to that heckler. And I think you guys kill it with the heckling. I've also seen other comedians that it kind of gets in their head and they kind of can't get away from it.
Yeah, it's a muscle that you have to learn how to use, and a muscle that you have to exercise. The first time I dealt with a heckler, I was shocked by it. I didn't realize, like, oh man, I can do this, because I had a nightmare scenario where a guy was talking at the bar with the bartender, and I'm like, hey, what? I tried to do the teacher thing, be like, hey, do you want to share with the class what you're talking about? And the guy looks at me and goes, oh, the bartender's just helping me find my missing hand, and holds up a stump.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like, oh God, what do I do? And my brain just kicked into overdrive, and I was like, hey man, give me 5 minutes. I just took some hallucinogens after my set. I'll help you find it.
Oh God.
And got the crowd back, and I was like, okay. Oh, the one of the great moments I've ever had. Okay, cool.
See, those are one of those moments, like I've seen a lot of TikToks and stuff like that dealing with that kind of thing, where it's not necessarily a heckler, but it's just somebody who doesn't really have the decorum down. Like, they don't really know how to stay quiet during a comedy show. How do you guys kind of deal with the difference? Because I mean, For me, if I'm on stage and I'm getting heckled by somebody who's literally heckling me, I'm probably going to be sitting there saying, okay, what can I say up to a point where I'm not going to get in trouble my damn self? So like, how do you guys kind of deal with that, having to do this so often?
I feel like I come from theater, like improv, so always yes and just kind of going back with them. If it becomes too obnoxious and it's like, yo man, you want to sign up? Like, we'll sign you up right now to be on the mic, and then they kind of, I think they get a little scared at that point.
Same. That's usually my tactic, is just to kind of vibe with them and hope that they're getting the either the idea that like the hint that like, hey, we're having fun, but don't go overboard.
Right.
And then eventually I'm like, hey man, if you're gonna keep talking, do you want to come up here and do the mic? And that's when you see him shrink. And I love doing that to a guy who thinks he's tough and is like, oh yeah, I'll talk, and just watch him shrink and go, oh wow, the backbone got made of glass real quick once I put the mic in your face, didn't it?
Oh, that happens all the time, dude. I mean, when I was coaching youth football, you would do that to parents, and the parents immediately clam up saying, it's like, yeah, exactly. You don't want to do what they're doing, but you have all the right in the world to talk about it. So I don't know. It's just one of those situations. I'm glad that it's not too much of a problem for you guys, though.
And it's the kind of why I brought Dave Yates in not too long ago. And like he said, once you become a comic, you get comfortable with being on stage and talking in front of people and being in improving, and you have that advantage against the crowd because they don't do this all the time. I mean, worst case scenario, you're going to get a salesman who thinks he can do it, and he's like, oh, I talk in front of people all the time, but he's going to realize very quickly this ain't the same animal. But
no, not when someone's talking. When you don't have someone talking back at you, it's completely different.
Exactly.
Starting in improv, though, that to me, I keep thinking of improv kind of as the best baseline for any comic, because you can kind of learn, like you talked about, just the yes and thing. Anything gets thrown at you, you can kind of learn how to roll with it and make a joke out of it. Do you think that helped you really kind of get your feet under you as a comic?
I think so, yeah. And honestly, I would come visit Bakersfield even though I was living in the Pacific Northwest, and I would see Bakersfield comics play with the audience too. I'm like, oh, we can do that. And so it was fun. I learned how to build that muscle too. But having improv and just being silly and just going for it and just like full send definitely helped a lot.
And I've seen that you've been on a couple of our friend Jaybird's shows as well.
Yeah.
So how often can people see you around town? Do people just need to show up to open mics to come find you? Do you have your own shows? How can people get involved with you?
Yeah, open mics. Mondays are pretty consistent. I work in nonprofit, so I work a lot. So if I'm not working, then I'm doing silly stuff.
Okay.
So I'll be at Jaybird's show at Rooster's Honky Tonk this Wednesday.
Fantastic.
I'll have a 10 minutes. So if you guys want to come through, obviously I'll be at the Monday mic tonight. And then Thursday, whenever the well hits, for sure, the open mics, if they're there. And if I'm not working, which I tend to work Thursday nights, I'll be there too.
What nonprofit do you work for?
Oh, I work for Cap K Food Bank.
Oh, right on.
Okay, nice.
Feeding the people.
Very cool. We love them. That's
too.
awesome. How long have you been working there?
I just started in November during the emergency food distribution. So that was my first week.
What kind of made you want to jump in with Cap K?
I've always been in nonprofit, Pacific Northwest in Portland. I was doing nonprofit work out there, still kind of work with them too. And I was just looking for the same kind of, I have a heart for service. So just trying to give in that kind of
Most people over at Cap K, man, Moneywise, I work at, my full-time job is over at Moneywise, and every year we pick a nonprofit that our whole crew goes out there once a month. And so last year was Cap K, and we got to work in the warehouse, packing the crates up. Man, it'll hit your heart, dude, because we did the delivery and the drive-through out here, or out in that backside area. Whew, man, that is some good stuff that they're doing out there. But back to comedy. What got you into comedy? Is there any comedians that you watched growing up that said, yeah, I want to do this?
Oh yeah, I grew up on like the Mad TV era, so like Angelo Johnson, Bon Qui Qui, like I like the whole Mad TV hosts. SNL was cool.
You're a millennial when someone just dropped a Bon Qui Qui reference.
Security. We are too old. Get them out of here.
Long.
Like just those characters, like Maria Bamford, of course. Like I grew up on Pablo Francisco. Like I was always in trouble, so I spent I was grounded, so I was in trouble because I didn't clean my room. So I had to clean my room. So I would just have stand-up comedy, Comedy Central Presents going on. And I just soaked it all up. And
did you?
I love it.
That was the best part. I was telling my son, we watched the new season of Ted over the weekend, and the mom, the lady that plays mom, I remember her from Mad TV. And I had to show him, and this is her comedy, man. That character she's rolled with that for years.
Oh yeah. And it's awesome to see that a lot of the Mad TV comics, or at least the big ones, have made such great transitions. I mean, No one knows that Key and Peele started on Mad TV. I remember them from back then. And then when they got their own show and absolutely took over Comedy Central, I was like, see, like it's not just SNL that has all these really talented comedians. And I that's really cool that that's kind of what started your entire want to do this. So which skit was it that really got you though? Like which one that made you think, you know what, I think comedy is what I want to get into, or at least improv?
I didn't even know it was something that I wanted to get into. I just loved it. You know, I like Bon Qui Qui security. Oh, hey girl, the back of your head is ridiculous. Yeah. Like just, and then like Stuart, like it was just so like, I love characters. So
oh man, that's awesome. Do you do a lot of characters in your stand-up at all?
I don't think I share that side of me yet. I do at home with friends, but I haven't like gone full in on the character side, but it's coming.
Okay.
Yeah, see, this has been an enlightening interview for me, because seeing all the things you hold back, I'm just like, oh, this is why the scene thinks I'm such a psychopath, because I don't hold any of these things back. I'm like, yeah, here's my personal life, here's this, here's that, let's go for it.
Well, I mean, again, everybody's got boundaries in their lives and stuff like that.
Apparently, I have none, so that's fun.
Sometimes you don't have a filter. There's no problem with that too. We are a sports show, though, so we got to talk a little bit about sports. I know you were telling me during the break you're a little bit of a baseball fan, but not necessarily enough to have picked a team. You grew up a Giants fan, but now you have converted to Dodger Blue.
Dodger Blue.
So what made you convert to Dodger Blue? Was it just Shohei Ohtani and how good they are right now?
I love Ohtani. Yeah. My stepdad will take us out, me and my mom out to like games and stuff. So he's like, you got to see a Dodgers game in a Dodgers stadium. Like, let's go.
Oh, yeah.
So we went, and I was just like, I just love being in the energy. And if you buy my beer, I'll root for your team. So I'm an honorary bandwagoner. So he bought my beers and I'm for the team. So.
Absolutely. And honestly, the Dodger Stadium is really, there's like a weird thing in the air when you walk into that stadium, because even if you're not a Dodger fan, it's just love of being there. Because I'm with you, it's not necessarily the game itself that gets me, it's the ambiance of being there. Like there's nothing that feels better to me than being at a baseball game live and watching it, or a basketball game or a football game, whichever one you prefer. So like that's I like I told you during the break, I don't fault you for not, picking a team. If you're not a devout fan of anybody, I think you could jump around from team to team. It really doesn't matter as long as you're not poisoning the pool as you leave. You know what I mean? Because I think there's a lot of fans that just jump in, stir the pot on a lot of this stuff, and then say, all right, well, this team sucks now, I'm going to leave. Like, that's the worst part about it. I mean, we got a Detroit fan over here that has been going pretty dang hard for his team for a long time. So I appreciate people like you too.
Thank you. No, I was going to say Dodger Stadium and going to games. That's why I still consider myself half a Dodger fan, because with the Dodgers, that was the team that I first went to a major league game with. With the Tigers, that was the first game I went to a major league game where I was drunk. So yeah, that's.
Again, you kind of have to be at a Dodger game, don't you? I mean, if you don't have a Dodger dog and a beer in your hand at a Dodger game, you're not doing it. Right.
If you're not at any baseball game without a beer and a dog, or without a beer and a dog, like it's you're doing it wrong. It's the perfect hangout game.
Well, I'm gonna float this at you guys, because I called on this when I saw the story last week, but the St. Louis Cardinals are now doing a $30 package, I guess, with your ticket that gives you all you can eat food and drinks while you're at the game. Now, beers and alcohols don't
that's
count.
Gonna be so dangerous. Oh no, beer doesn't count.
Beer does not count.
Okay, I was gonna say that's so dangerous.
Coke
in St.
products, Louis. Hot dogs, nachos, all that type of stuff. Stuff that you can grub down on, but it saves you a ton of money for said beer and alcohol.
If you're a parent, that's fantastic. Just spend $30 on the kids and wife each, and then just I'll buy my beers. Boom.
You don't even have to do one per kid. I mean, you could really get away with, if you have two small kids.
Share the popcorn.
Exactly. Share the nachos. Fries. You both get half a hot dog. I don't know exactly how you would pull it off.
They're both exactly. They're each going to eat a half a hot dog anyway, and you're going to end up taking a full one home. So what's the point?
Exactly. Yeah. But should the Dodgers not adopt this? I feel like this is a great idea for people who are Dodger fans, and you can't act like you don't have the money for it.
Yeah,
I feel like the what is it, the outfield stands are the only ones they're going to do that in.
Well, they kind of do already, don't they? Well, it's not all you can eat, but I know they have service out there in the pavilions.
Yeah, the pavilion I think is the only one that's going to do it, because the rest of the stadium, they're like, we can make money off those fans. We don't want to do it. But
Dodgers ain't going to do it. They'll never do that.
I don't know.
If it's not in the outfield, like, you're paying.
I'm just saying, you got the money for it. You make it hand over fist with everything Shohei Ohtani related. But you could totally pull it off.
You could, but you forget how much the owners of the Dodgers like money.
Exactly.
True. True. It does help pay for the Lakers and every other sports franchise that they own. So yeah, that's a good point. Speaking of sports franchises, though, yours has taken a player away from us.
Oh, it's a dark day. It was a dark day for Lions fans. What was it? Wednesday, Thursday? I can't remember. It's been a horrible blur.
Oh, no, I wasn't even talking about Montgomery. I was talking about Skubal first.
Oh, Skubal. Oh, God.
How dare you guys take Skubal away from the World Baseball Classic? What's wrong with you? We need him. You're taking away the pitching core, man.
We need a World Series, man. We need someone to win a championship in Detroit. We could just say it's contract negotiations. We'll just say it's
that part I will give you, but World Series, come on now.
Why else would we get Verlander? Why else would we put Justin Verlander back on?
Trying.
At least you're trying. That's a good point.
We're bringing in anyone we can to coach up these young guys. Like,
this is a championship for America, though. You got to sacrifice for the country. Come on.
I think they'll be fine without Skubal.
We got Paul. Okay, I realize, but with Tarek on the team, it would have been so much better.
Oh, it would have been. No one would have even came close.
No.
This would be. He would be the one guy to make the Dominican Republic go, "Oh, Poppy, this is not going to be a good game."
We say that, but we almost lost to Great Britain, and he was the starting pitcher too. So
valid.
But no, David Montgomery leaving. How do you feel about that?
Okay. Now that the initial heartbreak is worn off because Sonic no longer has Knuckles, I was terribly heartbroken.
Yeah, but which one's the franchise? Let's be
exactly honest. Which one's the franchise? And are you really going to spend that much money on a 30-year-old running back? That's maybe like we
can find you a Tails. We can find something.
Exactly. We've got it. We can find a Knuckles 2.0. It's all good. We'll be back. We'll be back. It'll be okay. Honestly, I'm less concerned about the running back and more about the guys calling the plays for the running back. Mm-hmm. Let's see how this pans out. How Mr. Hey, we're settling for you so you don't run away from us.
Drew Petzing. Yeah. I mean, I think you guys will be okay in terms of the running game. I was more shocked that you guys weren't making a massive push for Max Crosby. I thought for sure if there was one team that was wanting to bring this guy home, it was Detroit.
Yeah. I mean, you guys know my delusion with McDaniels, but Crosby was that was my second choice, and I was really pushing for that. So that's why I was like, really, we couldn't get either one of them. This is what we went with.
This is not baseball.
True.
You can't just stack all the best defensive players, and there's a salary cap.
Not if you talk to the Carr brothers. The Carr brothers claim the salary cap is a facade. It's all
they
fake.
can always find a way to give them bonuses and clear up cap space,
deferred payments, all that sort of thing.
I think the same thing with the running back too. I think you guys will be fine. When you have Gibbs at the starting position, I think they're just fine.
And fantasy football owners are absolutely ecstatic because now we all just have to draft Gibbs and we get all the points rather than just, handing off touchdowns to David Montgomery.
Right, exactly. But on the other side, the David Montgomery fans are like, oh no, all those free touchdowns.
Oh no, he's going to get plenty with Houston. I can promise you that.
Yeah, you're right. They're still going to use him as a battering ram.
Oh,
I'll just go pick up Mixon.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, I didn't even consider that. They should have just swapped players, to be honest with you. Maybe the injury history with Mixon caused some issues there.
That's probably what it is, yeah.
Because it's the same thing with Tua. I mean, I feel like most teams didn't call for Tua just because of the injury history, and they knew they can get him for a cheap value. If you
$1.3 million.
Yeah. So. If there's one thing the Detroit Lions can't work around, it's an injury history. Have you seen the last 2 seasons for us?
This is true. You guys have the injury bug, and it doesn't seem to be leaving you anytime soon. Which is wild.
We're
between you guys and the 49ers, somebody cursed you. I'm not sure who it was. It's starting to make me believe it's an NFC team now.
I mean, I'm sure there's some curse back in 1954 that some produce owner in Detroit did on the Lions that nobody knows, that he probably lives next door to the guy that does the octopus for the Red Wings. I don't know how
Wasn't there a commercial of somebody breaking that curse too?
I think that was Chicago. That was the curse. Yeah, that was the curse of the Billy Goat.
Yeah, there you go.
As Midwest sports fans, we love our curses.
Absolutely.
We can't handle.
I mean, look at your shirt. You got the Illuminati thing on the Tiger's head and everything. I mean, look, they'd lean into it, brother. It's Detroit. It's the Delulu. It's just it comes with the sports franchise. Are you a basketball fan for Detroit too?
I am not. I'm a Lakers fan. My family would not allow me to become a full blown Pistons fan. This is how hardcore a Lakers fan my mother is. Every spring, she plants her flowers so that during NBA playoff season, all the flowers that bloom are purple and gold. So.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the kind of insane Laker fan my mom is.
That's dedication right there. Tell me she takes pictures and sends it into the team. because she could probably get put on the social media.
No, she might. I need to have her do that though, because like there's actually
when those things bloom, dude, send a picture into the Lakers social media. I guarantee you they put that up at some point.
Yeah, I'm sure. And not only my grandfather was actually, fun fact, was actually a tailor for a few of the Lakers back in the 80s.
Really?
So if I could get that old like full circle thing going, that'd be great.
I'm just saying, man, you can make connections and you don't even know it.
All right, I gotta start pushing my mom's social media account then. This is my new task.
Well, we had a listener asking what's your guys' Instagram handles.
Yes.
They'd like to follow you guys. And what time's the show tonight?
Oh, okay. So Trevor Chavez comedy for me and Smashy P comedy for you, right?
Yes.
All right, sir. I'm sorry, I'm talking way
Just
too
a
much.
man over talking.
I know. I was like, why are you talking for her, man? Let her answer.
International Women's Day was yesterday.
No
so-
kidding. You're stomping on women already.
As
Calm down,
soon as
brother.
the words came out, I felt it. I'm like, oh no.
Smashy, where can they see you?
Thank you so much for asking. Smashy P comedy.
Absolutely. And go follow her on Instagram too, because a lot of the videos you post are hilarious.
Thank
They
you.
are awesome. I can't wait to actually see you up on stage as well. We have run out of time though, guys, so we appreciate you guys being here. What you got?
Don't forget Made You Laugh Mondays,
Yes.
Firehouse Rosedale Station. Signups are at 6:30. Show starts at 7. Come out for the burger and fries special. Stay for the comedy.
Absolutely. And honestly, the food down there is fantastic as well. Can they eat up like while watching you guys at the same time? I had someone asked me that the other day.
We do have a waitress that's up there, so you can order food. You can eat up there. You can get drinks.
Is it Tyson?
Oh, I wish it was Tyson. Oh, Tyson in a little cute cocktail waitress outfit. That'd be great.
Totally. Oh, okay, now we got a new comedy skit. We got to get working here. Guys, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate both of you. Once again, go follow Trevor Chavez Comedy on Instagram and Smashy P Comedy as well. We hope to see both of you very, very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you for having
guys.
us.
We got to take a break. We'll talk basketball on the other side with our guy Snacks. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. Welcome back. Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk, 101.1 FM, 1230 AM. Want to thank our guys over at Major Laugh Mondays, Trevor Chavez and Tyson Hayes, even though he wasn't here today.
Smashy P.
Smashy P. She's fantastic. Go follow her, Smashy P Comedy, on all social media platforms. But we got to talk basketball. There's some things happening in the NBA and the NCAA as Selection Sunday is right around the corner, and we got to get the ins and outs of it from our guy Snacks. Sir, good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
So I'm going to start in the NBA. We talked about it a little bit before we got to our friends over at Major Laugh Mondays, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has a chance to make history here in the next two games by taking Wilt Chamberlain's record of consecutive 20-point games in an NBA game. 126 would give him the record. What do you think this means for his legacy? I personally feel like if this continues, we could be talking about SGA at the end of his career as probably the greatest Canadian-born basketball player of all time.
It's starting to look like that. And it's always hard to have these conversations for me because the game is so much different. And these dudes, the games are longer. They're playing a lot more games to have these opportunities. And they're taking a lot more shots than what they were back in the day. So, I mean, but this also doesn't take away from his greatness that he has on the floor. I just want to put those things in perspective of why these players are having a lot more double-doubles and triple-doubles and all that good stuff. But the kid is an unbelievable talent. If somebody was to say, yes, he might be the best Canadian basketball player, I don't think you can really argue. I mean, you just pull up the stats. What else there to really argue? So, and he goes out and plays the game the right way every night when he's out there. So I wouldn't go against it if somebody said, yeah, he's the best Canadian. Now, if you said best player, I mean, I guess you got to start thinking about that too, especially if he starts winning multiple championships, because the numbers he's putting up is unreal. Like, it's very hard to stop, and he's learned the game in a way where he's learned how to draw fouls. That also tells me he knows the rules. He's really dissect the rules of the game, what he can and what he can't get away with. So I wouldn't be opposed to that conversation when it comes up.
So talk about that for a second, because we did bring that up last week as well, especially after Mike Brown went to the media and was kind of complaining about the fact that SGA, in his words, knows how to play the refs into getting calls for him. As a referee yourself, how do you kind of go about dealing with that kind of a player, somebody that knows the rules and knows how to draw fouls? Are you somebody that kind of gives it to them just because they know the game, or do you think that referees should kind of play it as an even keel across the board?
If I was to know the NBA ref, they always gonna stay by the book, no matter what people say. And it's no matter how much you hate an NBA referee or hate a referee in general, if you sit down and try and talk rules, you'll gain a whole new perspective of one, in their job, and two, of what basketball really is. So I always tell people the regular basketball fan only knows about 5 to 6 rules, and that's about it. So they're really arguing what they just know. Right. And everybody said, well, I played the game. Well, yeah, you played it, but until you read 134 pages of the rule book, right, or the case book or the mechanics book, you don't know what you're talking about. But it's hard to officiate those guys because then you have somebody on the other end trying to do those same moves that they didn't work on all off season, like SGA, complaining for the same thing. And it really just comes down to angles in the game. It's all about keeping the correct angles as what I'm talking about as far as officiating, to see those type of plays. So what he has done, SGA has done, is found spots on the floor where it's very hard for officials to officiate. Like you're not going to get a good angle in what we call the primary action area. So he's learned that the what we call the gray area spots on the floor where he draws those fouls. A lot of those fouls happen at the top of the free throw line, where he's picking up the contact, or in the middle of the paint where it's very hard to see, get a good angle on what's happening. So officials are putting whistles to what they think are could be fouls, and sometimes fans don't agree with it.
Well, and it's like you said, the normal NBA fan really only knows the basic rules of the game, traveling, fouls, all that type of stuff. They really don't know what you guys have to know in order to really be a good official and call all of these, these plays as they sit. Do you think that SGA's way of playing, though, is essentially the next era? I mean, do we think more players are going to start doing this kind of thing and finding ways to make it hard for you guys as officials to really be able to call these fouls either way?
Absolutely, because the game goes where the superstars take them.
True.
Takes it. So whoever's the most talked about player, whether this was SGA or Ant Edwards or Luka, whoever's the most talked about player, breaking the most records. I was actually hanging out with some coaches yesterday, and I was asking them, well, why don't nobody run offenses anymore? Mm-hmm. And he said, because it's immediate. Didn't even hesitate because these kids want a highlight reel. I was like, what does that mean? He's like, they would much rather pull the ball out and do a couple of dribbles, a crossover, and a fadeaway and make a shot than just go make a regular layup. And I thought that was the craziest thing to hear. But I'm not going to argue with a Division I basketball coach who's been around the game every day and see this every day in practice. Like, I was like, you can't be. He's like, no, they much rather get the ball at the three-point line, either launch up a three-pointer or do a quick crossover, make somebody fall, and then shoot the ball. And then, so they're taking the hardest way out to score. So whatever's happening in the NBA game is going to happen at the amateur game. Mm-hmm. And so, to answer your question, wherever the superstars take the game, that's where it's going to go.
That's interesting you bring that up too, the want for highlights and stuff, because I mean, maybe it is just the era of social media, but that is kind of where basketball thrives, is these short clips on social media. A lot of people don't really watch the full game. They'd rather watch the highlights of it all. So, I mean, maybe that's the reason why we're seeing so many like younger players kind of move that direction. But I also kind of argue that it's the ISO ball that we used to watch back in the 2000s when LeBron was really at his peak.
What it is.
And when we saw guys like AI and Carmelo and all these guys really take over games that way, everybody, at least in my generation, wanted to be that. So do you think it's more social media, or do you think it was ISO ball that kind of led to this?
I'm going to, if I can have both answers on this one, I'll say both.
Yeah,
because
fair.
Without social media, you wouldn't really get the hype of the ISO ball. But also within the ISO ball, that was another thing. One of the coaches I was hanging out with, he was like, even within the ISO ball, they ran an offense to get the ball to the superstar.
Right.
Now it's just a five out, and everybody figure it out. And it was so. I was actually said like watch a game, and I turned from an NBA game, and don't kill me, to a girls' basketball game in the tournament, because this is where the games actually started getting good on women's basketball.
Right.
And I was like, they're actually running plays, and I actually get a thrill of out seeing somebody getting cut back door and getting an easy layup, because they work to do that. Like you can see the play setting up to get a double screen in the corner. This kid comes off the double screen, knocks down the three to tie the game, or she gets stopped from knocking down the three, and then you got a back door going opposite side. Like, that's beautiful to me.
Right.
Seeing somebody dribble the ball for 16 seconds and then just launch up a terrible shot while everybody else just stands around irks me.
Right. Right. No, and I couldn't agree with you more. And you don't see that in basketball anymore. I mean, I grew up getting coached by a man named Matt Morin here locally, and all we did was run plays. He never let us do ISO ever. And it was because of that, because it was the proper way to play the game and really figure out how to play this. Now it's like they just tell the guys, go out, like you said, go out there 5 to the corners, and your basketball IQ really is what shows if you're a good player or a bad player these days, because the good ones know what to do to get themselves open. The other ones just kind of run around or just stand there hoping and praying they get the ball.
It was like watching the Celtics game. I wanted to see how Tatum looked. And I think it was in the first half, they already had 43 pointers.
Yep.
I'm like, wow. And it was matched up. I think the other team had 15. I was like, okay, it's the win or die by the three.
Oh, yeah. That's the NBA today, too. And Steph Curry can be blamed for that, or, given credit for that if you want. It doesn't really matter. But let's shift over to college, though, real quick, since I know we're running out of time with you. But first one that I wanted to bring up, because I saw it so much this season, but what are your thoughts as a referee when it comes to this whole court storming thing? I've seen a lot of people come out and say that it needs to stop, and people have even gotten hurt. Like I've seen stories of guys getting slugged in the face during court storming. It's gotten to a point where it's becoming an epidemic. And we've even seen fights in women's basketball as well, not because of court storming, but that have led to kind of similar situations. You as a referee, how do you guys kind of handle this kind of situation? Do you have an opinion on court storming when it comes to college ball? Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing? Like, how do you feel about all of this?
For the aesthetics, I think it's an awesome look on TV for fans. But if you're part of the game, it is kind of unsafe because it's like a tidal wave coming at you so fast that you don't really, you don't know really what to do. And I haven't been a part of a court storm, but I know officials that have, and they say it's not. It looks fun, but it's not really that fun. Right. But for officials, as soon as that buzzer go off, I'm out of there. Like, right. I take off. Like, because if you do stay and something does happen after the buzzer goes off or in the regulation, you have to either deal with it or report it. So what you don't see, you don't have to report. We can still give it, like at the end of the second half, the first half, if coaches follow us to the locker room, we can still give a technical foul, even though the regulation is over.
Right.
And so we'll come back and shoot those technical fouls, probably lose possession depending on the technical foul, whatever the case is. So you don't want to deal with all that, so you just leave the court right away. So we miss a lot of what happens after the game. If there's fights after the game, we don't have to report it because we didn't see it. We already in the locker room. We already in the tunnel and whatnot. So it is a safety thing. I don't know what much more college can do because I don't think fans understand that each time they do storm the court, especially in football, when they storm the field, the team gets fined.
Right.
They get fined, and then twice. It's a different number each time they storm the field. So
right, but the average college kid doesn't care about that because it's not hitting their pocket; it's hitting the school's pocket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's what I said when they were bringing up making bigger punishments for this. It's like, unless you can dictate who each of these kids are and then maybe expel or suspend them from school, I don't know if you're going to make a difference in this.
Yeah, unless you let them storm the floor and then have them all exit one tunnel and take their IDs and then
exactly. And it's like, okay, you and you're all students here. Come to this, come over here. The dean's waiting for you. Like, I don't know exactly how you stop this because the teams, like you said, it's not like the teams are asking for the fans to storm the court or the field. They're just taking it upon themselves because it's a big win and it's college sports. And I know a lot of college fans want this to stay a thing because it's unique to college. But I just feel like, especially after this season in college basketball, we've seen a couple now where fans take it upon themselves to take shots at players, literally like swinging punches and stuff. And it's just becoming a problem.
Yeah. And you hear on some of the games where the PA announcers are literally begging them, please do not storm the floor. And they still do it. So I honestly don't know. Other than you box everybody in and make them go out one exit and scan the IDs and we get a nice little surprise when they tuition is dropped or whatever the case may be, or when those grants they get back.
Right.
Have a little more of a dollar sign on it. But other than that, I have no idea how you stop it. I really don't.
I'm in the same boat, my friend.
Well, we've got Selection Sunday coming up next weekend. So by the time we talk to you next week, we'll have the bracket set and looking forward to talking to you then.
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait.
Any specific team that you're looking at in the tournament this year to make a run, or maybe a team that nobody's really looking at all to make the tournament?
No, not really, because I'm just now starting to nosedive into the other conferences, like the Sun Belts and the conferences that would nobody ever, like where the Florida Coastals come out of and all that. So I don't have by next week after the conference tournament's over, I'll probably have a better judgment on like, okay, here's what we should look at. Because they don't ever show us these teams until the conference tournaments. I'm like, okay, well, where did Cornell come from? But they've been killing people all
right.
The handicappers I've heard in the last week, they've all kind of said the same as last year, that with the NIL and the push that they expect all the number ones to be in the Final Four again.
I hear that as well.
Yeah, and that's I know we got to go, but that's one thing. One of the coaches I was hanging out with the other day said as well. He's like, it's not an even playing field anymore, and those teams that we used, those Cinderella teams, are no longer a thing because those kids aren't staying 4 years at that school anymore. I was like, oh, that's a great point.
What are your thoughts on the Miami of Ohio situation right now, them being undefeated and most likely going to make the tournament, but everybody's calling them out, calling them a fake because obviously they haven't played anybody?
It also depends on what side of the bracket they're going to be on. And what I think the NCAA is going to do is, okay, you're 31-0. Let's put you on the toughest side of the bracket.
Right. Let's see what you're really worth. Yeah, I think the same thing.
Yeah, I was going to say them, but I also haven't really seen them play, nor have I heard them play anybody of a good caliber. So, yeah, I'll be interested to see what they do in the tournament. But if I have to know the tournament, they're going to put them on the hardest side of the bracket.
I agree. But I mean, I've heard Greg Kerr say this too, and I have to agree with him. Like, is that really Miami's fault, though, that nobody's playing? Like, they're not playing anybody? At the beginning of the season, all of these schools decide who they're supposed to be playing and, what, all of that. And nobody really wants to play the MAC or the WAC or the Sun Belt. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't help them any to play those conferences. So should we really fault a team like Miami of Ohio for not playing anybody when nobody just wanted to put them on their schedule?
In that sense, no, because if you're ducking and dodging the competition of what could beat you on a money game,
right,
then in that case, no. We all know the money games at the beginning of the season. You bring a team in, just get easy win, kind of help their program out, whatever the case is. But you don't want to pay a team to come beat you on your home home floor. And if they really are that good, and maybe they aren't really that good, maybe again I haven't done enough research on them to, and maybe they might shock people. But if that is the case, then I agree with Greg on that one.
Honestly, they almost lost to the Ohio Bobcats over the weekend. I know that
I did
they had to take it to overtime, but it from what I understand, the team's not that good, but they're still undefeated. But I just keep thinking in my head, it's like, well, yeah, if you guys didn't want to play them at the beginning of the year, you can't fault them for beating up on 32 other teams that did. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. And for all of basketball to say they shouldn't be in the tournament at all, I feel that that's a little bit of a stretch. Like, they're still playing basketball games. It's not like they're cheating their way through them. All it is that just playing a weaker competition, and it's working out for them. And honestly, I think that's how smaller schools are going to have to start doing it to get into the tournament, is to beat up on other smaller schools, because we were just talking about it with NIL. It's an uneven playing field nowadays in college basketball, and they have to do everything possible just to get attention.
Yeah, and I also give them a little credit because I did catch a little bit of that Ohio game that they played. They're doing this without not a lot of size,
right,
on their team. So which tells me they have a good chemistry with the core that they have playing, and that this team has been together for quite some time. Because if you can win that many games with not a lot of size options, and that's what you really need in come the tournament, is a little size in the post, either for rebound action or scoring, a scoring option down the post. So for them not to have a big man, a true big man, and 31 games, that's pretty.
It's pretty impressive in my opinion. I give it to him. Before we let you go, my friend, put your wizard hat on. Get the crystal ball in front of you. Who are the top 4 ranked teams going into the tournament in your opinion?
Oh God, somebody asked me this the other day, and I got it right off the rip. For sure, Duke, Houston. Yeah, I said them last week. Duke, Houston. Surprisingly, Purdue might. No, not Purdue. I can't think of the teams' names right now. Not Kansas. God dog.
Michigan.
It. Who?
Michigan, the Wolverines. We put them in number 1.
Michigan, and I had another one in there. The
Florida,
crazy part,
Arizona.
I said 4 last week, and I can't say the same 4.
Wildcats, Gators.
Oh, Florida. Yeah, Florida's good too.
Okay.
Yeah, Florida. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go Houston, Florida, Duke, and the Wolverines for your top 4. I think that's a pretty safe bet. I keep hearing that they may drop Houston to a 2 seed this year just because they're not impressed with the competition they've gone up against.
But that'll be the worst thing for everybody, because we dropped them to a 2. Now they have an easier bracket.
Right.
And honestly, maybe that's what they want, because this team has been at the top of the bracket for how long? I think we're coming up on a decade at least at this point.
And the thing is, I'm worried about is Duke's dealing with injuries right now. I think they've got 7 players right now that they're playing with this. So, I mean, I'm going to go with Boozer because I'm a Boozer guy.
I was just about to bring that up. I hear about the one Boozer brother, but does the other one play at all?
The other one starts as the guard.
Does he really? Okay, good. So they both play. So it's kind of like a Blake and Lane Griffin kind of a situation.
Yeah, just one outshines the other.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, I was concerned about that because I was like, coming in, I knew they were twins, but all I hear about is the one. So I'm like, is the other one just not that good, or is it one of those situations where he just gets overshadowed? But I'm glad to hear that's more of an overshadowing situation. My friend, thank you. I'm sorry, but what were you about to say?
No, I was just going to say he most definitely overshadowed. That's all.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens when it comes to Duke, because obviously they are one of the more favored teams in this tournament as a whole. And as Sparky said, we'll talk to you next Monday, and we'll have a full bracket in front of us, and we'll get your thoughts then.
All right, fellas. Love.
Thanks, brother. We have a couple minutes left before we got to get out of here our dang selves. We appreciate all of you for joining us.
Travis Kelce will be returning for his 14th season.
Not a shocker to me. I had a feeling that he would want to at least run it back for one more year. Aaron Rodgers is still up in the air if he will come back, but I think it's kind of the same type of situation. Both of these guys are headed for the Hall of Fame and want to make sure they go out on the right foot. And with Tom Brady setting the bar so dang high for most of these guys now, you got to go out with a Super Bowl win. But the breaking news that I see coming in, or as we leave, I should say, my Falcons are going to sign to why?
Because you have an injury-prone quarterback.
So we need another injury-prone quarterback?
Why not? It's less than $2 million.
You know what? That's the positive.
Not paying Cousins.
At least we're not paying 180.
Exactly.
You know what? That's a great point.
And he'll be starting by week 4.
Oh, God, don't tell me that. Don't say that. Don't say that. Oh, my God. This is going to be a painful football season for your boy. It really is.
It could be worse. You could be a Dolphin fan.
It absolutely could. We got to get out of here for the day. Thank you all for joining us. Join us back here 7 to 9 as always. We'll give you all the ins and outs of NFL free agency before it gets kicked off on Wednesday. But until then, Sparky, let's get out of here.